Hey guys, and quick announcement for you. So today is November the 10th and tomorrow is November 11th. So called a start of a whooping sales. And that's a whole week of a sales on AliExpress, and you cannot miss it because there might be the best prices in a year. So you should definitely hunt for the prices and check whether it's really convenient for you and really money. Money leveraging for you to get and buy the stuff you always wanted to. So I'm giving you a lot of links here because I'm personally hunting for the additional systems that will be building the whole power bank for the apartment, because that's one of the next things that I'm building. So in this video later on, there will be a review of a Daxtromn 6.2 kilowatts inverter that will work in that place. And well, the battery we will be assembling a little bit later in another video, so very separate. And the installation, of course, it will be absolutely separate. But now I am grabbing what I'm missing. I'm missing the circuit breakers, the automatic transfer switch. I'm missing several relays. I don't know, junction box, whatever. So I mean, all these kind of terminals, whatever. I mean, all those tiny things that I'm missing, I'm going to grab them tomorrow. I have a whole list of those listed. So I'm going to have a nice card tomorrow to actually get it on a bargain prices. I really hope. So I'm expecting. Oh, well, I see the prices that are going to be. They will be bargain, right? So because I'm getting it. Well, if I'm getting, then it's a good time to get it. You know. As always, I'm giving you the standard codes. You have to check for additional codes for your country. They are very specific. They are very different. And well, let's get this done. Well, in under the video there will be all the links, affiliate of course, in the description, and there will be the other videos which contain lots of those useful stuff that you can get and grab. What else? Let's go for Daxtromn. So whole review starts right now, and let's follow to this so you will know what you will be getting. This is Daxtromn 6.2. The 4 kilowatt one, the smaller 24 volt version, is literally the same. It's just different in battery voltage, but everything else is kind of very, very similar with the tiny adjustments. You don't have to get this exact one. You can get a similar one because they are being sold under so many brands, under so many different names, but they are absolutely equal, and they even have the same monitoring application for all of them. So you should know that, I mean, that stuff is same. Yeah, let's go. Okay, let's go. And here is the box with the Daxtromn inverter, which is for 48 volt battery system. That's the model name, the exact one, AGH 6.2 kilowatts Pro. Kind of similar to the ESN I used to have earlier, a long time ago, 1.5 years ago. I actually used it for some time, for about a year, then sold to a guy. It keeps working fine for almost 2 years already. And well, what do we see here inside? Kind of similar thing, but still not really. There are a lot of differences. First of all, the brand name, and I mean the overall looks are different. But I mean, what do we have here? The instruction, the inverter itself, nicely tightly packed. Some kind of a communication interface, I believe. That must be for a Wi-Fi, right? Yes, that's a Wi-Fi. That's definitely a Wi-Fi logger. Some instruction there, and guess what? I will be unboxing it all immediately, but not only. Well, I mean, we are done technically with the unboxing because I mean that's the inverter, and well, you cannot see a lot, but we will do the thorough review what's in there on the outer side and what's inside. And at some point later, not in this video, but at some point later, I will be doing the installation, because in our case of constant power outages, it will be working as a power bank, a huge power bank for all the apartment with one big battery. And I think this will be a very nice and interesting case to see. It won't have probably any solar on it, but maybe later, I don't know, not sure yet, but let's try. Let's do the first installation first and everything next. Unboxed, packaging aside. Anyways, let's start with the tiny things. Tiny things are here. Instruction manual. The Wi-Fi thing has got the two language one, the English language and Chinese one. So I mean, you will be able to figure it out. And the interesting thing is that it has these kind of two bolts, and I'm not sure what for, because technically, well, it's obvious. I mean, you connect the COM port to this one, and the Ethernet one goes here, but what happens next? Where will you hang it? I don't know. So I'm definitely absolutely not sure what for these bolts are. I mean, obviously they are meant to like connect it here, but I mean, where to? This question remains unanswered. So anyways, let's start from the top, from the beginning. So 4 buttons, physical. You see quite clear clicks, physical. The screen should be colored. We will turn it on and we will see it all. This is the LED, the status lamp status indicator that will glow with different colors. It will show you, indicate you how, what's the status right now. So, I mean, very like obvious, very, might be cute even, I don't know. We will see it all. Filtering elements, I'm curious to unscrew all this and to check what's inside, what exact filter they have, but they have this one on both sides. And on the right side also there is a switch on button, on off, for power, right? What else? Let's go with this kind of a sticker, because to everybody who doesn't know, the sticker is the passport of this device, realistically. So what do we have here? We have here the max PV voltage. The 500 is okay for it. Input voltage range is from 60 if you're working with the batteries, and 240 if you're working with a no battery mode. It can work in no battery mode. It will only compensate your local load without any battery. But I mean, yeah, but obviously you need way more panels for MPPT to start working normally without the batteries. In the case if you're using the battery, yeah, you just need to go slightly above for the buck converter to start working, and you will be able to work with the PV from as low as like 60 volts. Literally, I've been trying this several times. Finally, they have the maximum current input that you can apply on the PV, 22 amps. This means technically you can get like, normally it's kind of 2 arrays in parallel. That's what you can do, and like everything else is pretty standard. Oh no, not only. You have the main load and you have the secondary load. This means that the main load will go off after, for example, a certain limit on the batteries is reached. Let's say it goes down to 30%, and only the secondary load is kept, which is like set to be most protected from the blackouts, whatever. Inputs data, whatever, battery current 125 amps. What else? So let's go to the bottom, because on the left side there is nothing, only the filter, as I told you, and on the bottom there is kind of a little bit of more interesting things. So we have here the AC in, main out, and secondary out. I will undo this and we will see what's inside. It has the BMS. That's important. That's cool thing for a battery, ground terminal, battery input, and one single MPPT input. But 22 amps means that either you can apply a very strong, very like current heavy panels, like for example the biggest Ryzen's like 740 watts. Like, go for it. Yes, it can bear it. Or you can apply 2 parallel arrays of, let's say, some kind of smaller panels that can technically go like 10, 11 amps, whatever. That will be absolutely nice for it, absolutely okay. And this is probably my beloved combination of having 2 parallel arrays, let's say 1000 east, for example. But I mean, with the numbers, you can get more in the cloudy or clumsy weather. Battery input and 2 vents. Yeah, huge. It's all active cooling. So yes, there will be noise quite a lot. Once it works in low, they will work all the time, but gradually with increasing power once there is load. If there is no load, like they will be going slow. If there is huge load, they will go crazy. That's true. And the thing, how to hang it on top, but I mean, this is not a convenient thing to do. Obviously, you will have to like screw the screw through the hole. And you will not be able to just hang it. That's, in my case, not convenient, but okay, we have it, whatever. Price-wise, On AliExpress, you can get them for 250 to 350 of various brands, different types. They are all like kind of similar, whatever. In my case, I got this one for 196 US dollars because, well, I used all the coins, codes, cashback, whatever. I cannot do this for you. I can do this for myself only. Like I cannot apply you all the codes as it's. Yeah, this is something you have to do on your own. Let me unscrew all the bolts and we see what's inside. Fully open. And well, what I have to say, let's start with the filter. Filter is very simple. I mean, but it's present, like unlike in the previous version that I used to have where there were no filters at all, but that's actually giving me a question. I'm not sure. So if that's filtered side, that should be kind of intake, I guess. But we have the vents at the bottom, so we will be like dragging the hot air down, like, I mean, downwards. Kind of strange, right? Because like, you know, that the hot air actually normally flows upwards. So that's how it actually works. But I mean, if this one blows on the other side, let's say it blows upwards. So what's the point then of the filters? Seriously, what's the point? Because I mean, we'll have all the dust gathered on these filters. That's strange. I don't know yet where they will blow. So if you know, probably just let me know in the comments. And well, everything else, the contacts are kind of good. I like them. I would say, I mean, on the PV input is exactly the same one. And you can see that the cable is quite nice, quite sturdy. But what I don't like here is the battery connection terminals. I mean, they are okay, but look how close they are. And seriously, I mean, that's the point for mistake. You've made only one input here, and I mean, well, this is something that I don't like. This could have been done better, definitely. What else? I don't know. I mean, you see clearly that I have detached the display, right? So this is the display. This is that diode that is lighting. I won't be able to show it to you because, well, it's not enough height to dive into, and I don't want to unplug it yet. But I see that there is something that could have been here. So if anybody of you knows what could have been here, that's very interesting for me, because I want to know what kind of functionality am I missing. I don't know yet. Who knows, maybe the paralleling functions, because, well, this one cannot be paralleled with others. This is only for the higher versions, for the 10 kilowatt ones. But overall, it seems to be okay. So let's stop this and we will have to try to launch it to see how does it respond onto some kind of commands. Okay, I launched it just like quickly to connect it plus and minus of the batteries. That's it, nothing else. I won't be adding any AC in, any AC out, any PV in, of course, at this moment. I just connected the Wi-Fi. I'm curious, I'm eager to see what's in the monitoring system. But as you may clearly see, the display is color. The camera doesn't show it very good, and this one is red, but you won't see it as red. You will see it like kind of a glowing, but I mean, it's very different from what I see with my eyes, or to what I see in the camera. So bear in mind, the colors are very vivid. So for the eyes, they are so much more pleasant than than what you see here on the screen. Anyways, let me show you that, I mean, here are some status views. I won't be like doing and checking quite a lot at this exact moment, but the settings are done through this. Through long press this, then it switches to this mode, and then you follow the instruction with all the elements, all the modes. I won't be staying long for here on this one at all, because you have to strictly follow what it says in the documentation, nothing specific, and all the documentation depends on what you have here. Like we have reviewed, so he has the two inputs, so there should be setting for that one, and everything else is kind of standard. So anyways, I won't be staying on this. I'm curious to see what's in the monitoring. So this is our next step. I'm going to to launch the application, to connect to the monitor, and we'll see how is it going on. Okay, guys, and I've installed the application. I've set up the Wi-Fi. You strictly follow the instruction and you will get succeeded here. And the app looks quite cool, I must say. It's not a lousy one. It's really like
comprehensible one, so it really shows what's going on, with nice illumination, animations, whatever. This is the status, right? The first page, the initial one. Then there is the energy chart where you can check something that is going on, some load power generation, if you have some, because I don't have any. That's why I'm just like showing you. So what do we have here? Some monthly, yearly, whatever. There is some parameter analysis, and you can select here different set of parameters, type 1, type 2, so you can definitely check which one goes where. Several, I mean, you can check, you can put in several, and you will be able to see several different values. Like that's is how it looks like, and kind of cool. I mean, I don't know what I've ticked. I will like set up later. I just don't care at this moment. Some kind of timestamp, what's going on specifically at this exact time and this exact date. So what's going on the system, anyways, and some kind of alarms. If you will have them, you will have them. What else? The other interesting thing is here that here on the main screen, when there are 3 dots, well, you can clearly, not a lot here, just like edit the name, get some data logger details, whatever. There are the settings nearby to the left of that 3 dots, and here from this place you can set everything, not from the screen of the inverter, but from your phone. Just like, let's go to somewhere, let's say load settings, let's say transfer to bypass overload. Let's see how it looks like. So yeah, radio button prohibited or enable. I would allow it to go to bypass, and with hitting the send down. This means let it hold, let it run for a while. It should either go to succeed or fail. I don't know. Let's see how long does it take. Maybe if it takes so long that it means that it's going probably to fail. No, yeah, fail to deliver, right? So let's try it again. Enable, send down. It should normally yes, setting successful. That's what I wanted to show you. So that's pretty cool. And if you will click once again, you will clearly see that the bypass now is enabled. So I'm hitting the close button, and you can do everything from here. So whatever battery settings, you see how many of them are. I don't know, solar energy settings. Oh, you can only clear the data from here. Some grid settings are also here. The AC input range, which is kind of different. Yeah, that should be probably the selection between the UPS and the appliances mode. You remember that the difference in the voltage range. So once that is good for it. So let's wait. Yeah, I was correct. Yeah, timeout, but still it uploaded, downloaded the selection radio button, appliances or UPS. UPS, I'm okay with UPS, so let it be here. Like this. Well, anyways, I'm going to play around here for a while before I set it up, and the installation will be done further later on in a different place, at my mom's actually. But I will have to assemble the battery first, so we will have few more videos because before that thing happens. But this is the power bank for entire apartment. So this is going to be the 6 kilowatt system and the 14.6 kilowatts of battery in there. So 280 amp hours of 51.2. So you can calculate the total wattage of the battery that is going to be mounted there. Anyways, that's it for now, and thanks. So see you later.